guys. Alright, as you may or may not have noticed, I took down my temperature control Clapton Coil build. And that's because somebody commented, and thank you very much for commenting, because I had thought I had already taken that video down. I must have just forgot about it. But there are some dangers when using nickel, and one of them is you're not supposed to pulse it red like I did. That was a tedious process trying to get that coil to be usable, and I didn't know that it was that dangerous at the time. So hopefully, I'm doing another one today, so hopefully we can avoid anybody else being exposed to the dangers that I exposed myself to. But where we're going to start is with the setting up your DNA 200 and EScribe for this coil build. So I'll see you at EScribe in like 2 seconds. Alright guys, welcome back. Let me minimize this. Alright, so here's EScribe once again. We've done this before, I know, but just want to make sure we get this correct. So the first thing I'm going to do is plug in my DNA 200 mod. This one is labeled Big Deuce. Okay. It's going to download the settings. Yours will probably go a little quicker. I'm using an old computer and I'm doing a lot of processing trying to make this video. There we go. We're in our profiles. My first one is the TFV4. My second one is temperature Clapton. So the first thing you want to do is yours will probably be on nickel 200 over here. What we're going to do though is click on custom, and we're going to go to custom materials. Come up here to calculator, and this is where we're going to tell the software the build that we're doing. So for this one, and this is going to end up right at like 0.95. So for this one, we're going to do a 3mm screwdriver, but since I've done this a few times, I know I want to do 3.2 because we're going to end up right around 0.95. So we're going to do 6 wraps. Leg length we're going to change to 1mm because we're going to be pretty short. Change that to 0.001 because they're going to be touching. So the next thing we're going to do is come over here to Clapton. Click Clapton. Leave spacing alone, that's fine. It hasn't really had much effect for me. Make this parallel. Even though we're going to be doing twisted, parallel works fine. So the first one we're going to leave as Canthal. We're going to change that to 26. This wire we're going to be doing nickel 200. Change this to 28. Those are going to be the twisted wires. Over here, leave this on Canthal and put in whatever gauge you're going to be using. I'm going to be using 34. You'll see this one doesn't have much effect on it over here. But here we go, 0.095 ohms. So what you're going to do from here, click on DNA 200 and download the file. Once downloaded, we can go ahead and close this out. I already have mine saved. I'm going to open the one I have saved, but you can go into your downloads, save it however, wherever you want. I'm just going to let's go to load CSV file. We're going to come over here to correct resistance Clapton. That's what I labeled it as because I finally figured it out. Click open. It's loaded up right here, and then just upload settings to device. And by doing this now, it'll be nice and set up for when we actually build the coil, put it on, and we can test it and make sure nothing glows. Almost done. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Alright guys, the next you'll see me is we'll be building a coil. Deuces. Alright guys, we're back. Time to build this coil. So we got some 28 34 gauge Kanthal, 28 gauge nickel, 26 gauge Kanthal. The first thing we're going to do is straighten out the 26 gauge Kanthal and 28 gauge nickel. I'm going to pull off about I don't know, 1.5 foot or so of this. Oh, need my snippers. There we go. The end already has a, actually I'm going to clip that clean. I'm going to take the wire and put a nice 90-degree bend in it with my fingernail. Put it right in the chuck of the drill sideways. Tighten it down nice and tight. Pull it out just like so. Grab it with my nice flat pliers. Pull some tension. And let this go for a couple seconds. That should be good. Nice and straight. Gonna do the same exact thing with it. I like to put the stuff aside once I'm done with it. 28 gauge nickel. Pull it around the same length or so. Just about, you know. Put that over there. Once again, 90-degree bend. Just like so. Put it in the chuck of the drill. Just gonna fight me a little. There we go. Tighten her down. Pull that out just like so. Grab. Now the nickel is going to stretch on you just a little bit. It's not a big deal. Just know that it's going to happen. This should be good. And it is. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take both of them. I'm going to take and set it up just like that so that the bends. Not sure if you can see that. I can't see my monitor, so basically just have each part of it go in a different part of the chuck of the drill. Nice and centered. Get them in there. Go ahead and run your finger down it, get all the inconsistencies out. Grab with your pliers. Push down nice and hard. You should be able to hold both of them in there, no problem. Well, maybe not. Yeah, it's a little loose. Alright, so what I'm going to do then, so I'm going to pull the tension out, grab on with my pliers, always gotta be difficult. So the end here, I'm just gonna do a couple manual wraps with the nickel. I'm gonna grab right on the wraps, put some tension, and that should do it. So now we're just going to twist this up. You can do a lot of twist or a little twist, however you want to do it. I'm going to go clockwise. There we go. I decided to go with a lot of twist. So there's our twisted wire. Broke off nice and clean. Go ahead and clip this end. Clear out the chuck of the drill. we'll take our newly twisted wire, put a 90-degree bend in it, just as usual. Nice sharp 90-degree bend. Put it in the chuck of the drill. I'm getting repetitive, huh? Tighten it down just a little, just to hold it in there. Now, we're going to take our canthal that we'll be wrapping the Clapton with. We're going to pull out a good amount. So we're going to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 full arm lengths is what I'm going to do. We'll see how that turns out. And then you can do whatever based on that. Alright, so the first thing I like to do is I'll take one of my box mods, put it on top over here, then I'll take the wire and I'll spread it out on the floor, which is, you know, maybe not the most sanitary thing, but we'll get this up to temperature anyways, so it won't be that big of a deal. But it'll feed much easier to our wrapping here. So now we're going to put this in the chuck of the drill, and what I like to do is bend it ever so slightly and try to feed it up through one of the other positions of the drill. I just saw it poke out, so now I'm going to tighten down nice and firm. Yeah, it's not quite caught in there, but what I'm going to do is just, you know, rotate the drill just a little so I can show you. This little nub right here, that's just 2 little wraps around that. So now, let's wrap this coil, or wire. Start out nice and slow. And we are Claptoning. Keep a close eye on it, especially with a 34 gauge. It's pretty hard to see. Once you get in that groove, just keep it going. I'm going to slow down because my finger's getting a little hot. I'm holding it. Not a big deal. I'm just going to keep the same amount of tension and slow down. You know, cool down a little bit. As you can see, I like to do a lot of this at once. That way I don't have to do it all that often. actually stop for a second because my finger's getting quite hot. But I'm going to leave my finger on with the tension. Start up slow. Right back to business. Oh, I have a little twisty coming up down there. I'm just going to untwist it. Keep on trucking. Ooh, that's getting real hot. Good enough for me. Alright, let's see how much excess I got here. Got about an arm length and a half of excess, so you could probably get away with 4, maybe 5 arm lengths. Well, cool. Go ahead and snip the end of this off. Put the excess right there. I'd rather have too much left over than too little. It looks like our coil came out pretty nice. I'm going to attempt to do something here that I haven't done. I'm going to try and straighten this now after the fact. See what happens. Just going to give it a couple of little twists. That worked out pretty good, actually. So there we go. Clip this off where it started getting nice. Here we go. That's our wire. So let's wrap some coils. Let's get this thing going. Alright guys, got the coils in, as you can see. You can fire it. Nothing's going to happen. No, it's actually locked right now. Now it's firing, 150 watts. No glowing. Let's just take a look. So those are temperature Claptons. I'll be right back after I wick. Alright, they're all wicked up. Gonna go ahead and juice them up. What do we got here? Use some of this Sublimate Elixir strawberry custard. Juice it up, juice it up, juice it up. I'm pretty liberal with my juicing. Now make sure your DNA recognizes this as a new coil. I may or may not have ran into that problem just a second ago. Alright, I got a ton of juice in there now. Slosh it around, make sure it soaks up everywhere. Let's fire this bad boy off. Not bad for a temperature control build. That's at 350 degrees. Let's throw the cap on. Give it a vape. Alright guys, I'm going to back out and bring my camera back to normal. We'll talk about it, and that'll be it. Later. Alright guys, she's all done. She's vaping great. I did have a couple issues. We'll talk about it real quick. Alright. So I was going to show you a cotton dry burn, but I neglected to make sure that the DNA recognized this as a new coil. I had actually had on this profile, I've locked in the ohms, so it like burnt instantly. Then I wicked it up, and it seemed like the temperature control wasn't really working that great. Went back, tightened down my lead some more, and then I'm good to go. So everybody can mess up. I've done this build a bunch of times. Every time I do a video, it never goes right, especially with Claptons and temperature Claptons. But if you make sure they're tight, make sure your ohms aren't locked when you go into it like an idiot like me, then you'll be good to go. Now it's vaping great. As you can see, very little liquid on there, so it's not going to fire that much. Temperature protect. Go ahead and pop my top back on. Throw some juice in here. There we go. Adjust my air control. Vaping great. Definitely use Cantal for the outside wrap, and you'd be good to go. Alright, that's it guys. I'll catch you later.